All right. Okay, well, welcome everybody who's joining us. We've got 11 people in so far. I'm sure more will be joining us as we go. We had over 100, about 117 registrations for this event, so we're very excited to kick this off. So I want to welcome everyone to our Coaching Agile Journeys event. We're very excited to be bringing to you another presentation that we hope is of value to you. So hopefully we can step through this and you can take something away of value. All right, let's go for it. Well, I'll just say this is myself, Isaac, Jeff, Heidi, Lori. Mark's not here yet, or at least I didn't see him yet, but we're your co-hosts, and we're just a group of volunteers who love bringing good content. So connect with us, share with us your ideas. We're all about trying to increase our knowledge and have fun on this journey that we're all on. I know I always get encouraged being around these guys. So we do all this just from ourselves. We're not funded by anybody. We don't have any sponsors. So on our website, if you want to go there, there is a button you can click to buy us a cup of coffee. That just goes to help funding our server space and us continuing to host these. We have one more this year. Mark Kruth is going to be our last speaker of the year. And then we're looking forward to a really strong 2019 with maybe some new things. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to keep doing this as long as we can. So if you want to donate to what we're doing, feel free to join us there on our website, coachingagilejourneys.com. So today's talk is fantastic. I'm really excited. We have Aleksandr with us. And you know, what's awesome is he's one of these in the community who's doing agile coaching. He's got the mindset. And honestly, the way we came across him, we encountered him in one of our talks and really got an idea of kind of where he's coming from. And we're excited about this topic because I know from personal experience, I've been there where it's go, 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 go. And yet, you know, we need to do something different. And so great question he's going to be asking today. When should we stop to move faster? And so I'm going to hand it over to Aleksandr and let him take control. Sir, it is all yours.
Thank you, Isaac. Hi, everyone. I'm not going to name it everyone. Hello. I am, if you're asking me by the title that I'm getting paid, I'm Agile Coach, but I truly am back of bones, I'm a software engineer, and I truly do believe in experimentation, because that's what we do. Let's believe, I mean, what we do in the software developing, building the software, right? We're experimenting, and since it's experimentation, I don't know what the result would it be. And today's question is, by the way, today is November 7th. And based on my accent, you will probably, some of you guys recognize I was born in Russia. And by talking to me, you're not going to get implicated to any kind of collusion with Russians, guys. I will tell you that for sure. I know. Let me put it that way. I really want to put that as a social event, right? And as a social event, let's value conversation over everything what we discussing today. And the question is for today is, when should we stop to go faster? And I'm really interested to learn what's your opinion on that. When do you think we should stop, right? For example, if I'm driving, I live in New York. Yes, I'm still in New York. If I decided to go to Boston, for example, see, and I'm driving that direction, and usually will take me 2 hours. And if I'm driving at night and my foot is heavy enough, I can get to that for 1 hour, 45 minutes. But somewhere during that journey, I should stop there. Where, right? Bathrooms, kids crying, wife, yes, gas, rain, traffic, everything. But you cannot predict that. Even though what we do while driving, it's a mechanical, right? And usually what we do when we're planning, we decomposing our roadmap, right? On a sort of the sum of the components, right? We're decomposing as a whole, as a system. We're learning each property of that, right? And then we actually derive that property into the whole from the property as a path, right? And again, it's our brain is wired that way. Our brain is wired that way, and that's why we actually planning that way. You know what? If I'm going to get to that point, we will stop for the bathroom. Here it's a good flea market. Here it's whatever it is, and that's the way we are thinking. In reality, it's happening completely different. And we're constantly adapting to that. And that's why my question is like, when should we stop to go faster? Anyone wants to, I mean, like students who wants to do, I think Isaac, the only one who is responding with his stuff. Everybody's like, yeah. Thank you, Isaac. See, you're going to be my cheerleader. Okay. But think about it from that. Then let me answer you that. Because everything is a mechanical system, the way we think, the way we wire it and everything. The only way I truly believe we have to start with stopping in the mindset, constantly stopping in developing software. And look at right now, if you're in a software developing business, I'm hoping most of you guys, agile coaches, is specializing in software developing, right? Product development, software development. And some of you, if not, and still agility, agile software, I mean, development manifesto came from the software, right? We think as that one. Look at the book of work that we have, right? Look at the project or product that you guys have. How much percentage of work you're doing the old work? Whatever scale platform you're implementing, right? From the previous PI or from the next sprint of the sprint, from the whatever you're planning, how much old work do you have? Meaningful work, right? And how much your team or maybe organization, it started like 2 quarters ago and it's still going, right? And as most of us, and again, I'm guilty, and I cannot change everything, right? I'm gonna try it. As most of us who work in actually decent percentage, I would say 25, from 20 to 60%, right? We fall into that category. And now if organization, most of them who we coach, is going to that toward the being agile organization, we are breaking down everything, typical stuff, in a 2 weeks increment, because somebody said 2 weeks, that's what the Scrum is recommending, and we're going to a direction. We're actually splitting the whole point of master plan, that's a notion of master plan, into 2 weeks increment of work, and or 3 months, whatever we want it, right? Or whatever chunk we want to do, and we imagine that's how we're going to work. Where is this whole concept of MVP? And actually a few hours ago, I was talking to one of my team members and asked, like, how do you understand the MVP? And it's like, minimal valuable product. I'm like, are you sure valuable? Because here it's clearly saying it's viable. And as far as I understand viable, it's mean we need to somewhere validate it down the line, right? What is it working software for you? Well, working for software for me, it's working on my computer. You remember that phrase, right? It's working on my machine. I don't care about anything else. And we have to come like, you know what, maybe it's working software working on the development environment, QE environment, and maybe working, what is it meaning, true meaning of that? That was the working, oh, thank you. Working in the customer actually generating the value for that customer, right? This is maybe working. That's mean we have to see this as a system, as a viable from the minimum effort, maximizing the value. But the value is in that kind of, we cannot validate it until we deliver it. Remember that the customer have no idea what we wanted until we deliver it. And we deliver it and customer happy. Yeah, thank you for installation. We will get back to you in 3 months. What is that feedback loop? I mean, should we stop right there? Should we stop? I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste my any effort and constantly revalidating because our business maybe is not ready. But whatever the reason is, I want to turn this conversation to you guys and get what you feel about that. And again, this is only one point that I want to raise it. When should we stop to move faster? Okay, on our planning and our delivery, right? And I'm still doesn't want to put that everything on the reduction mindset, right? First thing we're delivering, and then we're deploying, and then we're waiting until the customer gonna give us customers, stakeholders. I mean, here until they're gonna give us the feedback from that viability. I want to turn that, guys, to you and get. What do you feel about that? How can we ignite this kind of mindset, legacy mindset of we need to, at that point, that's where we need to stop, bring that fire and saying, I'm not going to do anything until you're going to validate it, because I don't want to waste my effort delivering something useless. Let's stop overthinking. Let's stop delivering something that's not generating the value. And again, I'm saying that I'm going to give you a microphone and keep talking. That's typical me. Think about it. How much code, wasted code we have in the system? Every time we deploy into production, we're adding that inventory. You remember that book, The Goal, right? We're actually increasing inventory, constantly we're deploying. How much stuff we're removing from the production, from our customer, which doesn't generate the value, which we're already paying for that to supporting that system. It's not kind of like electricity, you have to pay nothing. You have to pay only what you generating the value. Ideal state, yes. I see someone turn the microphone. Jeff, is it you?
Yeah, it's me. And it figures as soon as I turn my microphone off, my laptop starts sending all kind of these really fun pinging updates that drive everyone crazy. But you know, it's funny. The map analogy is probably one of the best things that I could think of since you brought it up. Let's predate ourselves, Waze and Google Maps. Maybe even show my own age here, but you know, if I said drive to Boston, right? You nailed it. Like, who's just gonna get in a car and start driving to Boston? Like, you may get there, but it's going to be a challenge, right? And I even think, like, even if I sit at my house and plan it out, like, this is what the trip's going to look like. Here are the roads we need to go on. Boom, I'm on I-95 heading north out of Florida, and a major snarl. Cars blocking all the lanes. Traffic backed up for miles. My wife, she's always great. I got to go to the bathroom. We need to get off this highway. And you know what? We could sit in this traffic all day long, but there's a way around this. And so what do? Is I just keep driving and driving and driving. I'm like, I'll find it out, honey. And she's like, will you stop? I got to go to the bathroom, you know? And I'm like, no, I want to keep going, you know? Eventually, it's either the bathroom or I'm getting lost, but I have to stop because now I'm wasting time and go, how do I get back on the highway? What's my plan to get around this accident? How do I get my wife taken care of and maximize this driving time to the best of my capability? So it came down to a revelation. I need to stop because, one, I may not even be going in the right direction. Two, I may not even know how to get back on the highway because my wife's yelling at me, you better ask for directions. And you know, guys, we don't ask for directions.
No, we don't.
We just don't do it. We just keep driving. And then three, my wife may have an accident in the car. We have problem, and problem. Now it's time to stop and address those problems. Happy wife, better direction, more efficient ride. And that's kind of what I think. But and you hit the nail on the head with this. We don't work in a state of business these days. We work in a state of busyness. Everybody's got to be so busy. We don't have time to stop. And when somebody stops, it looks like it's a waste. We have idle resources. We have people sitting around. Then it's not a trade-off of we're using that stop time to make an investment, to make something better. It's just the visual is people are stopped. I'm not paying people to stop. So I think that too is like a mental challenge to overcome.
Absolutely, Jeff. I mean, you name it, one of them, it's chasing for extra capacity, right? We, for some reason, the legacy mindset believe that every capacity should turn to a value, right? And mechanically, absolutely right. Mechanically, absolutely right. And I'm just like, it's great, right? That means everybody's busy. It's great, right? We all fly through the airports, right? And if it's happened, and I know people who live in Tampa, guys, you don't have the airport like here in JFK, okay? The TSA, you love them, right? It's a nice smiling guys, girls, right? And it's like, please walk, okay? The 6 months I've been in South Carolina, I love them. But every time I'm coming through JFK, you see that they are very busy, okay? But the customer on my line, I mean, I need to take 40 minutes just stand in the line to get to them. What is the value then? They're busy. I mean, based on their chart, we're all busy, but the customer, I'm staying 40 minutes on the line. I mean, I need to get to the airport, not 2 hours, 2 hours, 30 minutes, just to pass that line. Thank you. Also, recently, I just came from the trip from Germany. Interesting trip. I met with a lot of interesting guys there, and I will share maybe probably in the next some of the webinars. And as you know, in Germany, they have speedless highways. I mean, you're getting on a highway, and it's a line dedicated. They don't care what kind of speed you're driving. 200 kilometers or miles, whatever it is, drive there, right? The whole system. And I'm like, I'm talking to my wife. Again, you have to talk, right? To keep the, remember, individual interaction. I'm like, do you understand, honey, why it's a speedless line? I'm like, why do you care? I mean, I'm like, you excited? I mean, it's all systems just to move, okay? To generate the value, you have to constantly, the whole system is supporting you. That means all the mindset of people, instead of how can we limit you to prevent that, everybody's thinking, how can we remove the impediment to support that system, right? And it's truly, I mean, I went there, I mean, it's rain, in some part of the Germany was snow in the Alps, right? And the highway is so perfectly balanced. It's built like everything what German stands for, right? Quality, right? And the meaning for that. And it's just going beautiful. And I'm like, this is exciting. It's like, as long as we're going to get there fast, that's what's the matter. I'm like, this is exactly. I'm just driving, just happen driving, and I'm enjoying that stuff, right? And as Jeff actually mentioned, that we need to stop. Guys, remember, I always pointing to everyone, willingness doesn't mean wantonness, right? Deep inside, we had the conversation earlier, that we deep inside, we're really, really willing to stop. As the system as a whole, do we really meaning and wanting to stop? Since, as Jeff mentioned, we're constantly chasing extra capacity. Amount of scope, it's a primary success indicator, right? If we deliver what we planned 6 months ago and everything scope, right? And on time and on budget, we're successful. And nobody cares that nobody's using that code anymore. That's another point. When do we need to stop, right? Anyone want to argue with me? I want to fail fast, please.
No, what you're saying is resonating a lot.
But think about it from that point, when willingness and warnings to stop, how it's applied that to corporate America? How do you feel? And we had that conversation with Isaac earlier, like you joining the organization, right? And you remember that PowerPoint transformations, right? You brings it up, all the beautiful PowerPoint stuff, and it's just exciting just to sign the SOW. Hey, it's a reality, right? And let's see that stuff, right? And then you're realizing in 2 weeks, 2 months, right? All of your presentation are wrong, right? And again, I don't want to blame anyone here. Myself, that's exactly what we do. Willingness to stop and meaning wantonness, right? Do we want to do that? Because right there, that's discomfort because of that legacy mindset. Always wanting to know everything up front. And uncomfortable to bring that truth, right? And in my career, I've been fired more than I was hired. That's why I started deciding to be a more independent consulting, right? Because not everyone able to tolerate the truth. Sometimes I have to eat it myself. And it's not about the truth. It's just common sense and what we believe, right? And again, why? Why we believe we're wasting time. And I like that word. I mean, a few minutes ago, before that, I was having a conversation with senior leadership. It's like, We're wasting time and resources. I'm like, what is the resources, guys, to you? Can you stop? Number one, this is the resource to you. This is the resource to you, and we talk about that because I can easily switch from one thing to another one. It's Android to iPhone, and in a matter of few minutes, okay, I'm gonna continue. Resources mean constantly depreciate the value, and the people constantly appreciate it. And you keep talking about that. Should we stop right there? And yeah, and it's like, oh yeah, I mean, you guys with agile titles, okay, you constantly talking about that. I'm like, let's talk about that. Seriously. I mean, every time we saw that quote, right? When the CIO is asking, CFO is asking CIO, look at that, we spending so much time and money on people to educate them. What if they're gonna leave? And the CEO is saying, if we're not gonna spend and they're gonna stay, what's gonna happen? Should we stop right there? I mean, it's another part of it, right? And also to opposite the time in that people, right? We're wasting and finishing low value project, right? How do you know? I mean, again, it's a real examples. Today, we had the conversation, for whatever reasons, we are going with the business value. I'm like, what is the value, guys, to you? And believe it or not, after this organization is going, again, no names, going through a journey for the last 5 years, the value is in story points. I'm like, maybe. Maybe I just want to understand, how do you come up with that? I mean, what is it based on? Should we stop right there with the whole transformation? Because the whole meaning of the story point is just kill it right there. Anyone wants to argue with me, please? It's a social event, guys. It's not one way. And
Yeah, I'm just thinking, you know, because like, how would stopping, you know, benefit me in certain situations? And I'm just kind of wondering about, you know, other people. I just posted in the chat. So one thing that I've experienced in my career, which this may be a little bit Dilbert-esque to some of the people on here, is a lot of times, and this is Coaching Agile Journeys, you set out to do things in an agile way, but the purity of agile in most organizations is all realistic, isn't really there. So what you end up with is a lot of silos and a lot of functional teams, not cross-functional, and you end up with these dependencies. And there's certain points, you know, these dependencies plague people. Actually, they become the blame game because they come up real quick. It becomes a fire drill, and blocker becomes a negative term. And the reason why is because if I'm working on something, now I'm stopped, I could blame that on, I'm blocked by this person. Like, we didn't collaborate to get that fixed, but this is popping up everywhere. It's becoming a fire drill everywhere. And right then and there, I always think, we got something wrong. We got this many dependencies. We didn't even have a plan. Something went, that's when I think we need to pump the brakes. We need to just stop and pull together and figure this out. So that's one scenario that I could think of where we're stopping in a software development or agile process would help clear that up. So I don't know if anybody else has any examples they're working with right now, but that's one where I would say, if you got that going on, stop. Let's get everybody together and work through this.
Jeff, to actually support willingness to stop, is that mean wanting to, right? Because again, we are product of the environment, right? And as a complex adaptive system, right? We're a complex adaptive system, right? We operate in a complex adaptive system. And I'm not going to go explaining what the complexity is, right? We're not in a simple environment. We're not in a complicated. It's a complex. And because we're dealing with people, it's, we would say it's adaptive, right? Because of the people. And in that kind of environment, we cannot predict the exact behavior of people, right? And for that reason, we actually playing safe, right? Not from the scale agile point of view. We're just playing safe, right? And who can blame a lot of people for that? And this is current state, right? It's again, it's a complex adaptive system. The system, as we said, the system cannot be reduced to some of that components. We said that once, right? I said that, I'm sorry, I was holding the microphone. And we cannot predict the behavior, right? But the beauty, what we need to bring that where we have to stop, the small changes may lead to drastic outcomes, right? And I'm just searching, I'm trying to find that one slide. And if any of you guys gonna open Agile Software Development Manifesto, right? And usually that's where we actually usually studying. And that's logically, it's the right way to start it, right? But if we undermine, and again, that's where we need to stop, and I'm taking that a little bit more on a serious note, right? Because we're starting our adoption from here, right? Guys, do you see that? Can you read that script, by the way, guys?
No.
But that's what our teams are actually seeing that. That's the way they're seeing the Agile Manifesto and the principles. That's the way they're seeing that. Whatever it means to me, it doesn't mean it's mean exactly the same to the same. They're seeing like, you know what, you're the number 5 who's showing that to us, and it's like, blah, 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 but it doesn't mean. But we have that mindset, the legacy mindset, that constantly they want to actually, first thing, they want to see the system, they want to decompose it, right? They want to analyze this component and then bring that back. The whole meaning of agility and sense of viable, constantly experimenting with minimizing the effect, right? It's just throw in the garbage. It's basically, it's no meaning to that. We're actually teaching the practice, but the belief in waterfall is still great for them, right? The dwarfs in that point, right? And right now everybody is waiting for another 6 months. 5 o'clock here, sorry. What does that show? The winter is coming. Come on, guys, please help me. Season 8.
Game of Thrones.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. See, I mean, now I know somebody's listening to me. Thank you. Okay. But think about it. We can believe in truly in that because the mind did not change in us, right? We're still seeing everything as, hey, yeah, we understand that our highest priority is to deliver customer with true and continuous delivery, blah, blah, blah. But what's the value for me? The value for me, remember, working software, it's just working on my machine.
So, yeah, actually, that's a true story. I was called in to rescue a project by someone who had just working software on their machine. That person had written vaporware.
You know what? 20 years ago, I remember my manager is actually calling me. He's like, Alex, is that working? I'm like, I don't care. I mean, it's working on my machine. You know, deal with that. And think about it. If, again, I wish I can share that. If we're going to believe in that, give me a second, please, because it's a very interesting point that I want to bring. No. Yes, I got it. Is there any way I can share?
Yes. Yeah, you should have a toolbar with Zoom. And one of the things is share. And if you click on it, you can pick what screen or what application you'd like to share from.
It's in the bottom portion of your Zoom screen there.
Yes. Okay. I'm trying to do that way. Zoom, it's in the bottom. See, it's the pen. Okay, now I got it. Invite, stop, video, integrates. I'm sorry, guys. Share. Got it. Got it. Share. Yes. You guys seeing my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Think about it that one. We operate, instead of putting that statement, Agile Software Development Manifesto, right? Let's put it that we operate in a complex adaptive system. And because of that, we welcome changes requirement. Because of the complex adaptive system, we deliver working software frequently. Because of complex adaptive system, business people and developers must work together. Because of complex adaptive system, face-to-face communications. right? Because of complex adaptive design emerge from self-organizing teams. Because of complex adaptive system, at the regular interval, the team is reflect, right? It's all common sense. Now let's remove the top statement. Without the we operate complex adaptive, and we're going to just put the title. And again, I'm not trying to change anything. I'm just trying to change the way we actually present it. Becoming welcome changes requirement. That's what Agile Manifesto said. Without even understanding. And people's like, oh, okay, change the requirements. But why? You remember that? Why statement? Simon Sinek constantly. Why? We're coming to realization. Why? And that's where it actually is going to lead us to stop. Anyone wants to argue with me, please? I want to fail.
Wow, I just got to say that is 100% true, because in our mindset, what we think of, you show this slide, and I think every person on this call, I would expect, says, I completely understand. It makes perfect sense. But if you put yourself in the shoes of someone else, because we automatically put that top line in, right? We understand the why. We as coaches go, yeah, we understand that the world is complex and we have adaptive systems, but we leave that part out. And you're right, the words just become words. Let's welcome changing requirements. Let's deliver working software. Such a good point. If we don't create the why for everyone else, they won't get the meaning and the reason for what we're trying to do. It's a really good point, I think.
And think about it. If we will start with bringing to the organization the point, I just stopped the sharing. We bring that point stating, guys, because we're in a complex adaptive system, because of that point, we're coming back. System cannot, because of the complex, cannot be reduced to some of their components because it's a complex adaptive system. And then it's like, what should we do? And that's what Alex is coming with, that like vertical slicing. Let's do the vertical slicing. And that's what we have to bring up with the sub of components. But now they understand. And you see that people saying, you know what, I don't care, Alex, what you're saying. It's all nice. It's all beautiful, okay? If we were to listen to you, we will believe in dwarfs as well, right? Game of Thrones and all of that, Red Lady and all. I mean, I'm rewatching that again. That's why I'm on the second season now again. For that purpose, the waterfall is great for them then, okay? It's like you're coming up with this Scrum. I mean, Scrum, we've been practicing Scrum. I'm like, and how much work, let me take a look at it. How much stuff you keep dragging from one sprint to another one. I'm like, okay, why can you complete it? Oh, it's too long. Why it's too long, too big, whatever. Like, oh, because that's the way it is. Have you ever tried that slicing? Okay, and it's like it doesn't work because they needed everything. How do you know? Oh, but that's what you remember, that stack of paper. That's what they said they wanted. That's what they said. They don't know what they wanted until we deliver it to them, right? Even I'm going to the restaurant, I'm asking, let me have a fish. I know exactly what I don't want it. But I don't know what I wanted, right? Basically, I don't want you come into the restaurant, you're saying, I don't want to burn fish, right? But on what level you want to burn it, right? You're not saying that. It's got to be perfect. But perfect for you, perfect for them, it's different. Our mindset is different. And I'm coming back to the mindset, because until we're going to break that stuff, everything else and all of this framework, all of the jargons, big room planning, option, output, outcome, story points, deployment, CI/CD. What else we have that? We know that. Product managers, like new titles, new, whatever it is, it's meaningless. And it's actually putting that, cementing all of that previous legacy mindset and stating, we're not going to move from that. We're not going to live here. And yeah, some people, you know what, surprisingly, I learned it for the last 5 years, okay, working with people in my mainframe, which mostly people 55 plus, okay, they are much quicker to adapt and seeing the whole reason in that than it's, what's that? The Generation X, whatever it is. Now I have to learn it, all of that. Okay. Because again, maybe I'm just thinking from the psychological point of view, right? They're on a journey of the retirement and they're tired of doing the same thing for so long, right? They're looking for some new inspiration and get to that level of discomforting, because the school of engineering back there was, I'm not that also young. It was great, right? And the true engineering, not just whatever you type it and just, okay, I'm gonna do exactly the same thing, right? It's not there, maybe. And I'm seeing that completely different, the expectation that I'm expecting that I'm coming to the room and I'm seeing people between 30 and 45. It should be more inspired to do that stuff, right? They shouldn't be, the mindset shouldn't be that corrupted as we see that. And it's completely opposite. That's why I'm like, oh, because it's a complex adaptive system. Okay, and in that example, it's worked much differently than what we are expecting, and we stop.
Yeah. So, Alex, actually, you brought to mind, someone mentioned to me, I don't understand why we need Scrum Masters, because there's no other discipline in the world that needs some person just to guide the process. And they were kind of arguing back with me, like, we don't need Scrum Master. And it's like, what I shared was, again, in an ideal world, this process would be natural. This way of working would be natural, and it's not. So what are your thoughts on that?
I'm usually giving the example of my son. My son is 6.5. And every time we come into the playground and surprisingly bring that one toy, in the beginning, kids, it's going to be fighting. And that's what Alex is coming to the moms and dads, please let them fight a little bit. I mean, it's no blood there. They're not actually, okay, they're just crying and screaming. And surprisingly, in about 2-3 minutes, they find their way how to balance each other and fighting. I mean, stop fighting and playing with one toy. And it's like, are they smarter than we are? Because they're open mindset, they're able to just get to that point, right? And you're putting 6 adults in one room and give them one goal, okay? And you will see how much experience, right? How much blinders, right? We have, and we agile coaches, and let's be honest, we have our agile blinders, right? Right? We truly believe that it got to be a Scrum. I'm like, let me put it that way. In the beginning, before Scrum was Scrum, it's called focus software development, right? It's basically giving you focus in a time box, right? And if you're seeing that focus in a time box, hold on, that's a Scrum, right? And again, because we're adults, we need the babysitters because of that. And that Scrum Master role is actually walk out themselves from the job. And if they're not doing that stuff, hey, maybe it's not that great of a Scrum Master. Maybe it's a Scrum person, not Scrum Master. Scrum Master needs to find the way how to move out himself from that job of being Scrum Master for this team. Hopefully it's one. I see that. And what about the manager, HR?
I just got to say, so I'm just personally, like, that blows me away, that comment, because I think to myself, anyone who's doing something that they're not the best in the world at needs someone else to help them who's gone further, gotten better. That's what mentors are. That's what advisors are. That's what coaches are. And yeah, there's a lot of people who don't look for someone to help them get better, but those people are never the best, and those people aren't growing. And so if you're not seeking to get better, then those are the people who I don't need anything, or go back to what Alexander's saying. He was saying that, you know, if you're just doing a menial task of take this sheet of paper and type this into that, don't deviate, don't think, check your brain at the door, push buttons or turn wrenches, maybe you don't need to get any better. But for the type of work that is everywhere around us, we need to be seeking improvement and getting better. And the way to do that is to find someone else who can help guide you. So I'm blown away. There's so many examples of guides. Never mind calling them coaches. Guides is what they are. They're everywhere. And so for the person to ask that, what other area has guides? Every other area. if you want to find the best in the world.
Alex, do you think that there's a fear factor, that they might think it's a reflection on their professionalism, their ability? I don't need a coach because I've been at the top of my game, or I think I've been at the top of my game for such a long time. So why would I need a coach? So there's definitely a mindset shift that needs to happen there in order to take them to the next level. But when you're dealing with people who've been in industry, I'm talking about very high-paid executives, and the coach knows as well, they will believe that they got to their level is because they've got all this experience and professionalism, and it doesn't need somebody else to come in to say, hey, take a look at yourself. So for me, that's often I wouldn't say a struggle, but it's often a difficult conversation, or a very sensitive conversation you have to have with these individuals to try and open their eyes to this kind of new world. And if then they can see the benefits of that, and then that can permeate down to the organizational level, to every individual within the organization, then that can only be a good thing.
Totally agreeing with you. Based on my experience, and again, playing this game, and again, it's a game, seeing the highly paid executives, everyone, at least on a high level, wants to get that mindset. I never saw any senior executives who don't want to deliver the volume, who actually value more predictability more than the volume, right? Think about it, top level always believe in value, regardless. And hey guys, we're here. We know the senior executive, that's what they're hiring us, because they believe in value. The teams believe we need to change the way we're developing products, right? And let us software. Something there, right? And the system itself is being built to protect. And I start the conversation, it's for some reason, the value of predictability is over value itself, which is, value over value, okay? We're constantly looking for ways to predict our value. And I'm constantly saying, predictability should be on behavior, not on the value, because we don't know what we don't know. Let's experiment. And because we're experimenting, and what would you like to experiment with, $100 or $1 million? Well, it depends on organization, right? Some organization willing to experiment, that's what's coming. Like, what do you believe in, again, Mike, why do you have sprint for 2 weeks? Who said that 2 weeks supposed to be? And it's like, oh, because Agile said that. I'm like, Agile doesn't say that, maybe Scrum guy recommending, right? But maybe somebody told you that 2 weeks, and then maybe it's a good start. But how do you actually validate that 2 weeks? For some teams, I usually love to put that starting in 1 week, and I'm explaining the reason. I'm putting my son once a year to get that vaccine, right? To give that antibody in his stuff, to make that his body to discomfort, right? To adapt. And that's this 2 weeks will give me that discomfort for the team and let them start thinking, oh, we need to start operating in the time box, because I don't care about what you do. I care about what you can complete it, okay? And let's think about we complete that wrong way, right? Should you put that, quality is, again, we don't negotiate on the quality, but at the same time, if you don't know if it's the right solution, do you need to build as high as quality? It needs to be adaptable, it needs to be maintainable. That's where, to me, is coming. And again, bottom, which is, again, if you actually following the Gary Vaynerchuk, he has the sneakers, and it's called sneakers Dirt and Cloud. One of the sneakers, actually, they have a name, Dirt and the Cloud. Dirt, it means it's in the bottom, with no disrespect, guys. We all love to be in the dirt, but somehow we're coming to the cloud, which is dictating, and again, no disrespect. Cloud and dirt needs to work together, and usually when I do the training, I bring that sneakers, okay? And I ask executives, can you wear them? Can you spread your legs, right? And then can you walk, right? And it's showing how much distance you need to have, right? In order to cloud and the dirt operate with each other. And it's usually, we should not be, and trust me, I see some people trying to spread because of their physical ability without understanding why we need to do this. I hear you, and safety is important, right? And the safety can only be supported by top level. Only. But the distance between top cloud and the dirt is so big. And somewhere we actually losing that stuff. And that's what we need to stop, I think, right? As soon as you see the safety is losing that whole meaning of that, we should stop there and should analyze it. But again, safety, the measurement for safety is a little bit different on every level. That's why the coaching is important. And we touch that subject. I mean, the doctors, for example, we go into the doctors, right? And who would you like to go to the doctors who got his new professional degrees reformed, right? Who is still operating in the old-fashioned way, which I'm not saying it's bad, right? It's his experience, right? And then you come in with the technology guys, and I usually saying like skills are cheap, right? The passion is priceless, right? And when you come into the professional who is really passionate, right? And trying to learn. I know I'm scaring a lot of people. Trust me, I am. Okay? And I love that. Okay? I love scaring people because that's what their discomfort zone, right? And you come in with all the passion that you want to do, and sometimes they're actually pulling me on the side and saying, Alex, how do you controlling yourself? I'm like, you know what? I'm not controlling that. I don't want to control that. I'm controlling my skill level, right? Constantly controlling. But the passion, don't kill me right there because I don't want it. But again, see, not everybody's built for that. The whole corporate America are coming back. You cannot stop that. Yes, you cannot. But what can we do? That's an interesting question. Thank you, Sean. Anyone else, guys? Argue with me, please. Prove me I'm wrong. Tell me, Alex, you have to shut up and listen. Just learn one framework and just plainly coming off with the flag of this will win the war, right? We're going to cement it, everything what we actually doing that stuff, right? I have no problem to retrain myself to something else. But until I truly believe, passionately believe what I do is, I'm going to continue going. I'm going to get fired maybe a few more times, yes. But that's what makes me who I am.
Yeah, Alex, I've always maintained a good agile coach, scrum master. If you're not on the brink of being fired, I don't think you're doing your job very well.
Exactly. And you know what? I actually, a few years ago, I was reading one article, and I have to rebrush myself. Do you remember when electricity was actually created by Con Edison? By the way, not far away from here where I am right now, okay, here in New York, okay, in 1858 or 1860, right? And Con Edison by itself, actually, he was a great salesman, right? He actually went to and that time it was no corporation, it was manufacturing, right? It was great time, one person owner, right? Not entire country, it's a one owner. And he's coming to that and trying to prevent, saying, hey guys, you don't have to pay for whole steaming machinery, right? You're just paying and redistributing stuff, right? And it sounds great, right? And the owners start adopting that stuff, and then they found, hold on, why do we need to pay for everything, machinery, and plus for that, whatever you call it, electricity? And you know when the electricity start adopting how it's supposed to be in 1860? After Great Depression, actually during the Great Depression, when the whole manufacturing starts shutting down, right? The whole steam machinery was actually operating to supply only one unit of work, right? The owners that start thinking, why do we need to do? You remember that guy 60 years ago, right? Con Edison, he was selling us. Think about it, 60 years it took to adopt electricity. And right now, can you think about yourself without electricity right now? It took 60 years. And we just on the 18 years journey. And we coaches are complaining. Come on, we're dealing with people. right? And money and the corporations. Come on. And sometimes we need to actually enjoy it. Maybe it's a right, and we need to see until, as we're saying, all the dinosaurs will die, right? But the new one learning exactly the same way, right? I don't know. Something should happen to actually boom. I mean, that aha moment should come up.
So Alex, I'm curious in your experience with companies' experience, because I think we've defined so well, we're wrestling for a mindset, right? And we feel as coaches and agilists, we feel there's a movement in business this direction. Have you seen companies that you've worked with, or have you seen more of an openness in recent years, or has it been the same for the last how many ever years? It just, oh, that's different, that's weird, we're not going to think about it, we don't want to do something different?
Of course I'm seeing that. No, of course we're all seeing that it's easier to present that, right? They're becoming more coachable, right? And that's one element of being coachable. It's, again, we're expecting that as a norm, right? But for the last at least 3 years, it's not a big deal, for example, for me to walk into leadership and ask them, I need 2 days of training for that team, and I will bring up. They see the value of that. They're not going to say, hold on, 2 days, minus 10 people, 2 days, and 8 hours, 80 hours, 160 hours, and let me take a look at my Gantt chart. How much back is going to put me? I'm seeing that they coming to that and it's like, what are we going to go? I mean, what is the goal of that training, right? And I like it when they're not saying, let me see the material, because they're not going to understand that. Sometimes I don't understand my material, right? By the time I build it, by the time I present it, I change my mind, right? And I truly prepare for today. And all of the slides that I have, it's for the day conversation. And I would say like 2 days, I'm like, no. I'm going to be as usual as everything. I'm coming up and I'm like, yeah, we have to triangulate the mindset. The triangulation is coming from predictable mindset. And I'm going to show you all of that slides. Okay. And the way we're going to do this, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be as everybody else. Right. It's a social event. And I'm actually lately, I mean, in this engagement at least, I'm constantly Scrum. It's a social event. Planning, it's a social event. Daily Scrum, it's not social event. Okay, and all of that stuff, I'm trying to bring that people, they need to come to everything with a purpose. Because we're saying that it's a reason why saying Scrum meetings. I mean, I don't know what Scrum meeting is. I know we have activities, we have events, okay, but we don't have meetings. What is it meetings to you? That means I'm going to be sitting in a room. I'm like doing like this one. Sometimes I'm playing with my phone, right? Like, yeah, and walking out, right? Activities, every time I'm going to play soccer, okay? I'm preparing. I need to put the uniform. And if I'm playing with a different t-shirt, I have to put it different colors, okay? And since the last time I played soccer, my t-shirt is probably not going to fit me anymore, okay? I have to check that. I have to prepare for the event. For the activity, for meeting, I have to prepare. Meeting only organizing, and I'm blaming Microsoft for that. It's only one button there, set up the meeting. Actually, it's a new one. I believe it's a new event, right? Or it's still meetings. I didn't pay attention. I'm sorry. I'm just going there to tell you that. New appointment, sorry. It used to be new meetings. Now it's new appointment, right? You're creating that and people's like, hold on, who created? Isaac? Okay, Isaac's going to prepare for that.
Yeah.
We don't do that.
That's
right?
so true.
We don't do that. People coming and like I'm seeing that 6 people out of 6 people, only one paying attention, they're actually talking to me. The rest of the people, I'm like, okay, let's talk. Yeah, okay, I'm there. I'm doing the same thing, trust me. I mean, again, it's easy to teach, right? To preach that stuff. Then actually, and again, it's taken me as well.
You know what? It's interesting you say that because I had an online event with Judy Rees, who's pretty well known in her field. And she came to do a special event at my company. And there were about 30 people who showed up. And we had alerted them that this is going to be an online, on video, very interactive session. And she wanted to do the breakout rooms. And one guy, and she said, you know, I want you to answer this question in the breakout room. And and talk about this topic. And the guy's like, I don't understand the point here. What is the point? So she explains the point. And he goes, I don't understand. I'm here to learn. Like, I thought I was going to sit here and listen, and now you're acting me. I just want to learn stuff. Like, why are you making me interact? So he viewed this exact same thing of interacting, being counterintuitive to learning. He just wanted to passively receive it.
But also you have to see it, I mean, people, and again, with no, guys, I just want to make sure it's no disrespect, dirt and the cloud, right? And dirt is just the point, it's the doers, right? Who I truly want every time, if I have opportunity, okay, not an organization that I'm coaching, I'm rolling my sleeve and I want to do the development, not coding. I don't want to do coding. I want to do engineering, something new stuff. And my last startup, I lost it a lot of money, but I'm still love the way I wrote everything. And sometimes I'm going back if I should change it or not, but the idea was wrong, but it doesn't matter. Okay. And I'm inspired by that. And just by nature, who I am, and just going constantly, just like coming to that one and whatever, passion, whatever you call it. Okay, but I love to be on the dirt, right? But it's just coming to the cloud. But if we're gonna maintain the proper distance, but then we're coming back to the organization. If the organization is ready for that one, should we stop right there? Because we come as agile coaches, we did like PowerPoint transformation, right? And that one we put the people into belief in Game of Thrones. It's an awesome one. I do believe that season 8 is going to be the best one. And now I'm watching the second one. I think this is one of the best one, right? And even a year ago, I had the conversation with Dean Liffender and SAFE. And again, it's a lot of opinion. Quite honestly, I do care at some point, right? And he said to me, and again, I'm bringing with my passions, like, this is not the way I want to see it. Like, that's going to be in the version 18. I'm like, version 18? I'm like, what do you mean? Regardless, guys, it doesn't mean that that's like, oh,
hey, Alec, so you're an extrovert.
I cannot hear you. I'm sorry.
Hey, Alec, you're an extrovert. I'm an introvert here. What I'm hearing you say is you're maybe my internet connection is not good enough, but you're appealing to the extroverts that are out there, right?
Did you get that, Alex? He's talking about introverts versus extroverts. He's saying you're an extrovert. Are you appealing to extroverts out there, or is your message equally for introverts as well?
I'm trying not to discriminate. Let's put it that way. Okay. And again, don't get me wrong. We're coming up with why are we, any kind of steps are we doing? What is the purpose? What do we optimize it for? Okay. If, for example, we're going to come to the military organization, right? And I know it's 1 minute left. Okay. If it's if the military organization, and we're coming to the military organization and we're going to say, let's focus and let's optimize the transparency, right? Which is, this organization is not optimize it for transparency, right? And let's see other organizations, they're trying to put the estimation, that's their focus. I mean, they're optimizing to estimate better for whatever reasons. Right? For whatever reason, they actually optimize it for estimation, right? Why would you bring the vertical slicing for that? Oh, because it's going to minimize the effort. But they don't care about the minimizing effort. They care about the maximizing accuracy, predictability, and maybe that's the right way for them, right? The first thing what we need, I believe we need to do, it's actually believe in something in common. We need to find that goal that we're trying to bring that together. And if we don't have a common goal, again, Scrum, you're calling the whole journey, 6 months engagements, whatever it is, we need to have the goal. And we have a common goal, and it doesn't matter you introvert or extrovert, or I mean, I'm seeing, I'm reading, ambivert, whatever it is. The whole point is we need to find the one commonalities. We need to drive by the commonalities. And if for whatever reasons we are not commonly understand the same thing from whatever background we're coming, then we should stop. And stop right there.
Yep. Well, and Alex, speaking of stopping right there, I'm going to go ahead and stop you because I know a lot of people have meetings following this immediately. So I do want to share, hey, great content. Thank you very much, Alex. I do want to tell everybody, you can go to coachingagilejourneys.com. We'll have the recording of this conversation up in a couple of days. Mark Kruth is coming up if you want to go there to sign up. You know what? One of the ways we can change mindsets like we're talking about here is through a powerful story. So he's talking about storytelling and the power of that. Really good comments. Thank you, everybody, for your engagement, and I hope you guys got some value out of this. Again, Alex, I'll just say another big thank you from all of us. We really appreciate you taking the time to teach us. And so thank you, everybody, for joining. We'll catch you guys all next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Have a great rest of your day.